Hey everyone, want to let you know about a new online series called Do Your Diligence, where mining CEOs go one-on-one with Rick Rule in an unscripted, no-holds-barred, live-stream due diligence session. Details in the description below.
This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media, sponsors of the 2024 Natural Resources Investment Symposium, July 7 through 11. Attend live in Boca Raton, Florida, or with the comfort and convenience of your own home via live stream. However you choose to do it, please note that we will present more content, high-quality content, than you can possibly absorb during the 4 days of the conference. To that end, the conference will be recorded so that you can revisit the material time and again, which I encourage you to do. Further to that end, we are introducing to our attendees all of the exhibitors and all of the speakers before the conference so that you can learn more about the exhibitors and contact them before the conference, which will allow you to allocate both your time and your resources more efficiently during the 4 days at the conference. Note further that every public company exhibitor at the conference has been vetted by me personally. Unlike any other investment conference that I know of in the planet, our exhibitors are content too, and we vet them. They are all owned in my own accounts or in accounts owned and managed by me. The fact that I own a stock doesn't necessarily mean it goes up, but it means that the process is very, very honest. I vetted all of them with my own time and treasure. I'm delighted today to introduce you to Theo Deschev, a woman who has, despite her young years, been active for natural resource exploration investors and speculators for a very long time. I have had her stock in my account since being introduced to her by Andy Jackson, an absolutely world-class geologist who was in my employ for some period of time. Theo, thank you, first of all, for your ongoing efforts on behalf of investors, especially me. And thank you, too, for your ongoing support of our symposiums and boot camps. Welcome.
Thank you. And we appreciate being on, and we love what you do for the investment community in the mineral sector.
Let's start by talking about you. Tell me about your background. Tell me about what you've been doing in your adult life, and establish some credibility. Tell us why we should care about what you say after this.
Well, I have a passion for what I do. I've been with Mundoro for 16 years and believe deeply in what we're trying to achieve. That is a new copper porphyry discovery in Eastern Europe or in the Laramide Belt in Arizona. But my background comes from geological and mineral engineering. So I've got that technical background to start with, and that's really helped me be able to really filter through opportunities. From there, I went into commodity trading, equity research, which is a very tough job. And I have a lot of respect for equity research analysts, and then investment banking. And then from there, I've joined Mundoro. So the focus fundamentally in the company is to find great opportunities in copper for our shareholders. Coming to that from a technical base, one of the things that I think important about Mundoro and myself in particular is that I don't try and follow a trend. I really look at fundamentals and am focused on that specific commodity or that specific region, rather than this is what the next great commodity is. And I'm not saying that there's not an investment case for that, but from my perspective, I really look at fundamentally how to create value and how to do it in the copper space, because I think it is such an important part of our industry in the minerals sector.
In allocating my own capital, Theo, as you know, I favor the prospect generator over any other type of exploration company because I like the arithmetic. If you do that, you have to assume that an exploration company is more akin to a technology company. And you have to buy teams that are able to demonstrate to the industry both technical competence and regional commercial competence. If you could describe the intellectual capital around Mundoro, what it is that you're trying to do, where you're trying to do it specifically, and why.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a great question. So I think teams are very important, and I think it's really critical that people understand success is not a one-person show. It is absolutely a team-based approach. And especially in today's day and age, in terms of all the different layers of data that you have to interpret, you have to have a team. In Eastern Europe, we've been working together for well over 10 years. So as a team, we function really well. We know what everybody contributes. So we have obviously geologists on the team, data scientists, data managers, permitting managers, community managers. Obviously, from my side, the commercial side, looking at how to build the transactions, making sure that we secure value for our shareholders. So that team-based approach is really critical in the company. And in terms of how we create value, you know, Eastern Europe, it's one of those regions that years ago, well, you would not have mispriced it, but I think the market was generally mispricing what it means to do business and exploration in Eastern Europe. When we got there in 2010, 2011, to see a 100-year porphyry mine like Bor with ground directly next to it open. And I remember Andy, when he came out and visited us, was just like, wow, there's a lot of ground open in this region. It's almost mind-boggling. And so what we do as a team is to create those opportunities where we think there is real value for making a new discovery, packaging it up, putting in the right initial review of that ground, and then finding the right partners in order to come in and partner with us. So that's kind of like the team and the approach of what we do.
One of the ways that I, as an investor, validate the team and the approach is by looking at who the joint venture partners are and were. It's not enough, frankly, that I like your projects. I want industry to like your projects. I want my due diligence to have been done by industry people who are spending their own money. So tell me something about the people who have funded you over time and the people who are funding you now.
Yeah. So pretty much since 2016, when we really kind of doubled down on this generator approach to the business, because I agree with you. The exploration industry is very high risk, and particularly if you're going after copper porphyries, you could spend a lot of money very quickly and dilute shareholders. So our partners over the years have been Jogmec, BHP currently, and Jogmec is currently a partner as well, Vale, Kinross, Freeport, First Quantum, all groups that have worked with us over the years in exploring on either the package in Eastern Europe and Serbia, or, for example, in Arizona. So those partners, again, they're all focused on copper and predominantly copper porphyries. When they look at assets, you're absolutely right. They do a lot of due diligence, to the point where one of the groups was actually doing age dating on some of the volcanics in the Timok region before they got involved. So you're absolutely right. Our projects have gone through a significant amount of due diligence and scrutiny to ensure that they meet the levels of what the partners are looking for. And I think that's testament to our team, to having put together such a strong package that has so much potential for, and again, it's the size of the package, the location in a jurisdiction where there's historical mining, and that has the potential for another new discovery.
I should interject, Theo, that I have, in the course of my career, I think invested in something like 70 prospect generators. And as a consequence of that, participated in 24 economic discoveries, which is to say the track record of success that I've enjoyed is something like 1 in 3, where the expectation of success in sole risk exploration is 1 in 3,000. While it takes some time, it really is an amazing piece of arithmetic in the space. Tell me something, Theo, about how much one pays to access this process. What is the market capitalization? How much cash do you have in the treasury? And what, if any, is your burn? I think the financial metrics around your company are incredible.
Thank you. We try really hard to make sure that we're sustainable, I say, in the business. And by sustainable, I mean we don't want to be going out to shareholders and new investors raising more money. We want the portfolio to carry itself. It has to have that merit. So from a company point of view, we're about, I think 19 cents today. We have 104 million shares outstanding. And really, I think interesting point is that we've been public since 2003 and never have completed a rollback. So 104 million shares outstanding. So basically, let's say 20 million market cap. Of that, as of the end of December 2023, we have 4 million of our own cash, and that grew in 2023. So we started the year with 3 million, and then we actually had net positive free cash flow of 1 million from that portfolio, where we were running 10 programs with our partners. So that is off the base of 3 million of revenue from the portfolio. And revenue, what does that mean for us? That means operator fees, it means property payments. And then what we layer on top of those, and those come in over time, is milestone payments. So for example, when a project is successful, when you get your resource, when you get an economic study, could be a PFS, a PEA, and advance to feasibility. Those are all milestones, and partners pay fees to the company, to us for that. And then, of course, the most valuable part is that future royalty on a production royalty. And I think it's actually super important to kind of distinguish between what I call an exploration royalty versus a production royalty. Because a lot of people are like, well, you're a prospect generator, but what's your royalty? Well, we have a contract with another party, and that party pays us based on the underlying asset, which is the property, certain payments every single year. And that is by definition a royalty. So we have exploration royalties now, and in the future, as an asset discovery occurs and is successful, then that would turn into a production royalty.
I think it's important at this juncture for people to understand that your company has a $16 million enterprise value, which is to say market capitalization less cash. And incredibly, with no production revenue whatsoever, you generated $1 million surplus last year. I just wanted to reinforce that in people's mind. Final question, Theo. Tell us something about what we might be able to expect as catalysts. Tell us how you and your joint venture partners might answer some unanswered questions in the next 12 to 18 months that will increase the market certainty around certain of your assets and be able to ascribe more value to you.
Well, the number one way is drilling, right? Every time you generate targets, and you can go through a very extensive process, and some partners, can spend a lot of time generating data, geophysical data, geochemical data, alteration data. But at the end of the day, drilling. So you can expect drilling from us in these properties in 2024. Last year, for example, we did 13,000 meters of drilling of target testing. And very interestingly, one of those projects, which is called Dos Cabezos in Arizona, we have this really attractive laramide intrusive coming directly to surface with all the right geochemistry, identifying what kind of classic porphyry system. Same with the alteration. And with veining on surface, it's never been drill tested. And last year we tested that, and we demonstrated that we're clipping most likely the edges of a porphyry system, because we actually had mineralization in the drill holes, the first drill holes ever. So that creates a lot of value. And what's really interesting and kind of segues into what else to expect from us this year, other than drilling, is bringing on board new partners, because unfortunately for Vale, they had to leave that project last year. They had to make kind of decisions globally on their exploration portfolio, which was a great opportunity for us. We got the asset back 100% after those drill results. And that project is now in a process where we've been contacted by third parties, we've signed CAs, we're doing site visits. It's gotten a very healthy amount of interest. So more drilling and new partners on, I think, some really exciting targets.
Theo, finally, if our attendees are interested in finding out more about Mundoro, who do they contact and how might they reach this person?
They can contact me directly through email or telephone. Email address is tdechev@mundoro.com. I'm available anytime to answer shareholder or investor questions. And quite frankly, I really love it. I love it when shareholders reach out and ask us questions, because we really do want to engage.
Thank you for your effort on behalf of shareholders, and thank you too for your sponsorship and support of both the Natural Resource Investment Symposium and the recently completed Prospect Generator Bootcamp. Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do for the industry and for all of the companies. So thank you.